Good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. I love it. There you go. It's Monday, the 22nd. It is like almost the end of the month. It's crazy how it's
Good
gone by
morning.
so fast. Good morning, Michelle. How you doing today?
Just waking up, drinking coffee. How about you? Yep,
Good.
drinking
Sweet.
coffee.
I just got my cup. In fact, I was thinking I was being so good. I got a cup from Michelle, and she'd already gotten one cup this morning already. I was like, "What?"
Aw.
So I brought her 2 cups. So she might be wired a little bit later today. Y'all watch out. Oh man.
I said, I'll take that second cup. It's a Monday morning.
It's Monday morning, she said. I'll get it. Give it to me. And so just let's see. Next weekend. No, next weekend's good. I'm already getting ahead of myself because I was thinking it was Labor Day weekend, but that's 2 weeks from now. We're good. All righty. Well, I got my cup of coffee. I'm ready to listen to good stuff. I hear Michelle and Megan. Y'all were talking about some things to go over this morning. Yeah, go ahead and get some things going. I got some other things to think about. I'll let y'all know at the end.
Megan, you can start.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, it feels like a Monday morning to me as well. We spent all day yesterday rearranging and painting the baby's room. So my body's a little sore from painting. Anyway, so yeah, we had a couple of thoughts in our mind, but I mean, ultimately, we want this call to be a place that you can also share your wins or questions or things of that nature. So I don't want to necessarily take up the whole time, but I know that my mom wanted to kind of talk through the circle of products that you have available to offer. But I also just want to talk about, has anybody ever read the book Extreme Ownership? You can comment or you can speak up. You can comment in the chat or you can speak up. I know that a few of us for sure have, but
not that one. Let's hear about it.
Okay. Well, I mean, so we were watching a show yesterday called Heart to Heart for taking a quick break from painting. And Kevin Hart, this has nothing to do with the book, but Kevin Hart was interviewing JayZ. And JayZ is a rapper, billionaire, businessman. You guys have heard his songs before, but I like to listen to people who have that type of success because they've done something different, right? Like those people have done it's like they know something different, although they have the same information we do. They've just utilized it differently than we have. And so I like to listen to those people and learn from them because who better to learn from than the people who've done it, right? And I was just in like total awe of this guy's mind, the way that he thinks, and regardless of like, well, actually, in spite of even the way that he was raised, you would think that these people had no shot. Like some people just choose to believe, and it's a choice. They choose to believe that they've got no shot because of circumstance or belief level, and truth be told, it's sad. That is most of America, right? Like that's why there are fewer people who are millionaires, billionaires than there are on poverty level, right? And so it's not necessarily that they have different information. Now they may as they continue to rise up, but it's because they've taken that information, understood it, and utilized it differently than the rest of us. And I just find that fascinating. One of my guilty pleasures is watching interviews like of people. Jonathan could tell you that, but he because I just like to learn other people's perspective. Like I come from a place of just trying to understand other people's perspective so that I can understand people better, so that I can learn from people without being my way is the right way and it's the only way, right? Or not open to taking ownership over faults that I may have or areas that I have to improve in, right? So I try to be really mindful of that. And that's why I think I watch these interviews, because I'm just trying to get other people's perspective. But I mean, extreme ownership is just exactly what it sounds like, right? I think that with anything in life, if you are going to give it, if you want to have positive outcome from anything and true joy from it too, and feel passionate, like you've got to take ownership of it, right? And we're in a position where we're all taking ownership over our own business, because that's the position that this industry puts us in, right? Like in the way that we're independent agents, we can help anybody get coverage regardless of age, health, all these things, right? It's like we're in a position where we have to take ownership or we fail. And that's just the truth. And I can speak clearly to you guys and openly, because I know this is a tight group, but like, if you don't take ownership over your business and what you're trying to achieve, and eventually, if you continue to push, you're going to have some success, but it just may take a little bit slower than if you take extreme ownership of it now and do the things that you know you need to do to get to the place where you're trying to be. But going back to the book, it's about two Navy SEALs that write this book, and it's just a guide, basically. Like, I'm not going to give you a summary. You guys should go pick it up. But if you're a Navy SEAL, there's not much room for error, right? And if there's error, then someone's life is in danger. Multiple people's lives are in danger. Like, there's some serious consequence to that. And the concept is that we have to, regardless of what we're doing in our lives, that we should have that extreme ownership over what we're doing. We should take that mentality. And it's true for our industry, isn't it? Like, if we don't help somebody, doesn't that put that person in a position that's way worse than had we helped them? That's the mindset behind taking ownership over what you're doing, and then creating passion behind it, and then putting action towards it. I don't believe that there can necessarily be a successful business without intention, strategy, and action. But you have to have all three of those things. So what's your intention? And sometimes the strategy is not, and especially in this business, not important until you start to begin the action. And then you can have strategy behind the action. But first, what's your intention? Are you putting action behind it? And then you can strategize to scale and grow. But I would just believe that those three things together create a significant result. But one without the other, if you have good intention without action, we just have good intention, right? I know Stephen Davies, a long time ago at some point at a conference, said that he wished he could be awarded based off his intention, right? Damn, that would be cool. Like, if we were just all awarded or had results based off our intention, but that's not how life works, right? Like, you're going to be, as in this life, like, we're going to be rewarded or paid off of our actions, off of the results that we get. And it starts with good intention, because you can't truly serve people without good intention. I think we all know that. You become just one of those salesmen that people don't like, right? Without good intention eventually. So intention, action, strategy equals results. And then all of you should pick up Extreme Ownership if you've never read it. Dad, I saw you on mute. Did you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, I think, for a lot of folks, it's, we get in this business because we get excited about the money that we're able to earn and things like that. And then we get started, and then there's frustration. There's going to be pushback. There's going to be some foul language every now and then. There's going to be a lot of different things. And so it just hit me like when we go flying with our friend Kevin and Phyllis, and they got a small plane. Well, when we go to take off, it doesn't take that long before we're in the air, right? Like we're going along, and then all of a sudden, like boom, we're in the air, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And then I just think about some of the bigger planes, like we went to California, and and they take off down the runway, and and if you pay attention to it, it's like, oh my God, the end of the runway's got to be coming soon, right? Like it's going before it ever takes off. And to me, that runway time is your intention. You're intending to do this. You're going to make this, get out there and make some sales. And I'm just thinking back, the old adage of today's kids are so instant. They're on the phones, they're on the Game Boys, they're if the internet goes out, everybody freaks out, kind of thing. It's just that immediate feedback. And I think it's just, you just got to remember old school. It takes a while to get good, and my guilty pleasure is documentaries and some of these things, and even just looking back on people who we admire as being very, very successful, like Richard Branson with all the Virgin products. You go read his story. He was not overly successful early on, even in the days of Virgin Records and the stores like that. Go back and just read how much on the edge were these guys before they really truly succeeded to the level that we all feel they succeeded. They just didn't know. You apply that just about to any band out there, so that their success, even though you thought they were successful, they weren't. They were struggling, And so I would just say embrace the struggle. If I think about what Navy SEALs have to go through to become who they are,
yeah,
just embrace that struggle to become who you are, and be okay with it. And just remember, you're about to take off. That plane's on the runway, and you just got to give yourself the space and time, but you also have to put in the work and the effort. When you really do put in the effort, and I've watched Michelle this last week, get fired up. Even just cleaning up her office, she's got a brand new look behind her. Look at that. It's awesome. We got her moved her desk around. We got some, fixed the pictures and everything on the back. We just did a good job of fixing it up. And, it was something. Sometimes it's not even, the words and the activity that you're doing that's blocking you, but it's the space, and you just got to get in a different space, change your scenery if it's not working, but be intentional. Like, this is what you want to do, so let's do it, and put in the effort. And it's okay. Look, everybody struggles. And like you're saying, you talk about JayZ, Kevin Hart, y'all remember Kevin Hart had an award show that he got booted off at the last minute because something he said. Do you think it's changed? Do you think it changed his game much? No, he kept on going, right? So all that stuff, we're going to do things that are going to frustrate us and struggle, but keep going and remember the success.
Corny line is,
I think that's what's that?
Are you going to let it? The corny line is, are you going to let it make you better or bitter?
Better or bitter. That's right.
Always a choice.
Yeah, you got a choice. Make it better or bitter. Absolutely. Anyway, that was my thoughts on it, because I'm glad it's interesting to see all the different shades of things that my kids picked up that they don't even know they picked up from me, like, watching interviews to figure out, what people are doing. I love it.
Mike, I love all your stories and all your analogies, and it is so true. But I want to say a couple of things. Ever since SummerSlam, I'm just so excited for Juanita and Katie and Jeff, who've consistently been in the top 5 since SummerSlam. And you guys have so much inside of you. I see a fire that's coming. I see that you're working hard. I see that you're on all the calls. I see that you're on time. I see you take ownership of your business. And I love you guys. I can't even say what it means to me. I know that inside of each of you is a $20,000 a month producer, if you want to be. I know that's inside of you. I see Katie collecting $100,000 check last week from a customer. Does that take trust? Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you, Katie. And I see that I know that you're going to continue to find annuities. You're going to continue to do IULs, bigger cases. Michelle Slesh and Sherry, you girls are killing it in the warm market. And, how do we translate that into more referrals? How do we translate that into emergency response and show you some tricks and techniques, not tricks, but techniques to help you get more business? I want to talk more about that, but I'd love to hear about your week. I just want you to know, Beverly made her first 2 sales last week. So proud of you, Beverly. You walked through those electronic applications. They're not easy the first time, and you did it.
But you motivated me. You just kept saying, keep going. And I really love that phrase now. Keep going. Every time I hear it, I think about those apps.
Each question, keep going through the application. You're going to get there. You're going to get to the end. It's scary at first, and I understand that. And there are always things that we're learning in the industry that are going to be scary, even for me, who've been an agent for 19 years, even for you, Juanita, you've been an agent for God knows how long too, and so it's always a learning process, but
There's always something to learn.
And I just appreciate all of you. I want you guys to know that, and I want you to be able to help get more people on our team that know that. Show them your money. Show them what you're making. Let us help you get more people into the team, into this culture. So that's really, I know I wanted to show you the circle of products. It's 748. This circle of products, and Mike can share the screen. I think he's the host. It just kind of helps you, give you a visual as you're doing either face-to-face appointments or virtual appointments. You can share the screen with it. You can show them this circle of products. As a new agent, I'm not trying to bombard you, but I just want you to understand that we have Child Life and Child Whole Life and College Fund. Those are 2 different products. Foresters and Mutual has a Child Whole Life, and F&G has a College Fund. We have accidental death products with Mutual of Omaha and Foresters and Americo. And you can go to the product guide, the pocket product guide, to help you find which companies. I won't go that in detail, but the hospital indemnity plan, a lot of times when we're talking to people, we get into that conversation after we make the sale about, if you go in the hospital, how much is it going to cost you? And I have a plan that's under $20 a month that could pay you up to $300 a day, up to $600 a day if you go in the hospital. The dental vision hearing for individuals and or families, we have those plans. The cancer, critical illness, if you don't die, but you're like me, you get leukemia, what are you going to do? those plans pay you up front. The MedSup, the Med Advantage, the health matching account, pet health matching, the emergency response system. And I think we'll go over more about this next week. The annuity opportunity, safe money. I call it safe money. I don't necessarily call it annuity. Tax-free retirement. I call it, how's your retirement going? Are you saving for retirement? I know that when I do tax-free retirement presentations, that I close 90% of those. So what does that mean? It means I just need to do more of them. It means I just need to do more of them. I just need to ask more of my customers, how's your retirement going? And then of course our banner products, the term, UL, and whole life final expense products. I don't need you to talk about all these products with customers on the first go around. I just want you to have a picture of it in your mind and listen to your customers, but also ask good questions so that you can pull out more opportunities for sales. 3 or more applications in the home, you have a client for life. And that's really all I want to talk about that. We'll share that on the Slack channel. You can print it out and use it for your own presentations. Thanks, Megan. Who had a great week? Who wants to talk about their week? Even if you didn't have a great week, even if you had
learned about a new product or anything.
Who's getting their transmittals ready for today, for sales meeting for tomorrow? I'm always excited about that. I love every time I do an application, I put it on my transmittal right then. I send it to the carrier. I send it to mail. I save it in Dropbox. Hope you guys are all doing that. Every time you do an application, save that PDF. Send it to Mel Bruno. Send it to Megan. If it's Megan who's asking you to send it to her, and save it into your files. As a licensed agent, you're required to do that. I do that as soon as I finish the app because it takes me an extra 2 to 3 minutes, and then I open my transmittal and I put it in there. That way, at the end of the week, I know exactly where I'm at.
I made this flow chart. Hold on. If you'll make me the host, Dad, I will share it.
Is this stuff helping y'all today?
All right, your co-host.
It's very helpful, Michelle.
Yep, I agree. Very much so.
Okay. I created this flow chart. I haven't shared it with anybody yet, but you guys tell me if you would like it. Ooh, can y'all see the whole screen?
I think so. It's got three rows.
Yeah. Okay. So this is just a flow chart that I made to try to make it a little bit more organized for somebody who might be new or not new. Just a good reminder of what you should be doing when from the very start all the way through the end of the sale. So initially, as an insurance agent, you interview, onboard, contract, go through boot camp, buy leads, text, dial, or whatever you have to do to book appointments. And then if you haven't done these 3 things, stop. This is all that matters. Go back to these 3 things. Okay. Now, once you've done this and you've booked an appointment, it's now time to reach out to a manager for an appointment prep. Ask the manager which carriers you need to practice e-apps for. Run the appointment, submit the e-application. What's after that? Work your pending. Make sure your application gets approved, issued, and with the carrier that you submitted it with. What does that mean for pending? Call the carrier and do what's required by the carrier to move the business from submitted to issued. You guys may have experienced this already. or before, things can sit in pending for a while if you don't push it through. Typically, the factor is, now sometimes it's a client. I ain't gonna lie. But a lot of times it's us just not
It's the
pushing
client.
it through.
I'm still
Yeah.
trying to get that one pushed through. We'll talk about that later, Megan.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it is. And then after you've submitted the application, you like she said, you have to download a copy of all of your applications. It is your responsibility as the agent to take ownership over what you're submitting, and you need to save a copy of every application that you submit. 2 reasons why this is a good thing. You should save them for your notes, but it's also just a good practice. And it also is going to help you for your reviews in the future. Every Monday evening, submit your transmittal.
It's huge for your reviews. When you don't know anything about your customers and you call them and you don't know that they work at Exxon, because you're not going to remember all that stuff. And you don't know that they have 3 kids, and you don't know their bank account number or their address, their phone, all this stuff is huge credibility. Megan, I just want to pound that into people because it's huge.
It is huge.
It is everything. It's how I've done all that I've done in the past 2.5 years, being sick and everything else. It's how I've done it.
For transmittals, go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, yeah, when you're calling a current client or somebody who's lapsed or whatever, if you've saved all your notes, you can go in and look, you can get their kids' names, and that makes a huge difference. You may call and they may not really remember who you are, but then you kind of remind them and you ask about their wife or the husband and the kids, and that jogs their memory. It helps them. And I was on my way to an appointment this week, and while I'm driving, I think about work if I'm going to a work appointment. And I called a client who I hadn't talked to in a couple of years. I thought she was mad at me. And it turns out because she'd canceled her policy, she had 10. But I had been scrolling. I had looked at Facebook and I hadn't looked at it in 2 years. And I saw she had jumped on this post I had done. And she was like, call me, as soon as possible. That was a year ago. And so I called her and she was like, oh man, I'm so glad you called. Yeah, I need to get all those policies going again. My sister-in-law or somebody had gotten into her bank account, and, so that was why she lapsed. And truly, you know what? I had made a mistake with her early in my career as one of my first clients. And I had, she had referred tons of family members to me, and she's HIV positive. Okay. And she talked about it with me openly in front of everybody, but she sent me to her sister's. I made the assumption that the sister knew, and she didn't know. And, violation of HIPAA law is number 1, but it taught me a huge lesson, and the sister wouldn't let her kids come over anymore. And so I thought, and I'd called a couple times after that. I hadn't heard from her, but no, she forgave me the mistake or put it behind her. But, I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see, so far, and I'm still doing more, so if you think someone's mad at you, if you think, you messed up, you made a mistake, call it anyway, because you don't know what's going on in their life. And if they don't want to talk to you or they don't take your call, you don't know that it's because they don't want to. It could be something else going on in their life. So just try, and good things will happen.
Yeah, that's that intentionality and bold and activity. It's principles. We do it anyway.
That's a great story, Jeff. Thank you for
It's a great
sharing.
story.
Thank you for sharing today. I really appreciate that. I really love when you guys share on this call. It helps us all like help you more, you know. Sometimes it's hard to like he admitted that like we all make mistakes. I just had a decline to somebody who smokes, and after I submitted it, she said, everybody thinks I smoke, but I don't. And I should have done more underwriting on that case before I submitted it. Now I got to call her. 19 years, I still make mistakes too.
Absolutely. Anyway, we've been through a lot. If you guys want a copy of that flow chart, I'm happy to send it to you. My brain works like that. And I know some other people's work like that too.
Yeah, if you send out both those attachments.
Yes, please.
Or yeah.
All right, guys, it's Monday morning. Let's get to work. We got to get some stuff going on. We got our staff coming on here in a second. And don't forget, sales meeting tomorrow. And
it is Monday, transmittals.
And it's what's what?
I said it is Monday, so transmittals with activity numbers.
With activity numbers.
Yeah, and
turn them in whether you got dollar signs on it or not. The activity is what matters. It's the runway. You got to worry about the runway.
All right. Thank you guys for being here. Love you. Appreciate you.
Love y'all. Have a great day.